Miami Heat won their 38th game of this NBA season, and tonight it came in gritty fashion, in very clutch fashion, over the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll break down the clutch performances as well as the Miami Heat performance overall from start to finish on this episode of Heat Digest, where we create daily Miami Heat content. So if that interests you, subscribe to the channel, as almost 90% of you guys currently watching, 84%, are not currently subscribed. We're on the road to 1,200 subscribers, so we appreciate all of your support. Now let's get to it and break down this gritty but great and clutch Miami Heat win, this time over the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers are currently the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, so again, to knock off a team this highly ranked that is really that good, yes, they are pretty shorthanded without their leader in Donovan Mitchell, but again, we are extremely shorthanded here tonight, as we'll break down the injury report to start, as we did not have two new players on the. We do have two new players on the injury list, but again, we didn't have two new players here tonight, including Bam Adebayo and Duncan Robinson, who both missed this game for the same reason: back discomfort. After the game in Philadelphia just 2 nights ago, both Bam Adebayo and Duncan Robinson, who was sidelined during the midst of that game, didn't play the second half of the game 2 nights ago against the 76ers, and then Bam, who did finish the game 2 nights ago, did not play tonight due to the fact that they had back discomfort. This added to the injury report to go with Kevin Love and Tyler Hero, who we know both did not play, as they've both been out for, it feels like, an eternity now, unfortunately. But again, going in shorthanded, it seemed like going into this game that Jimmy Butler and Nikola Jovic were both listed as questionable/doubtful going in. Thankfully, they both ended up playing, and it was felt extremely, as both of them got a start. Jovic started tonight in the replacement of Bam Adebayo, as well as Thomas Bryant and Patty Mills, both getting starts. We don't normally see them get a lot of minutes really in collective. Tonight they both got starts, and they played really hard. They played really effective, as well as players like Orlando Robinson, Jaquez, Caleb Martin, and Hayward Highsmith, the normal role players off the bench, who played very, very hard and played very well for the most part for the Miami Heat. Now, what we're still going to focus on is Jimmy Butler, because in the first half, he set the tone for the Miami Heat. He came out in the first half, he shot 7 of 11 from the field in the first half alone for this game, and then he finished this game with 30 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds with 4 steals. He was everywhere, especially in the first half, not only on the offensive end, but also on the defensive end. He was flying around the basketball court, really setting the tone for a team that needed it in the Miami Heat, due to the fact that we had players like Jovic, Bryant, Mills, all these guys. Yes, Mills is extremely experienced in the game of basketball, especially in the NBA. But again, he hasn't played a lot for this Miami Heat team. So for someone like Jimmy Butler, who is the leader, the all-star, the highest scoring player on the team, to come out and really set the tone, not only offensively, which he did greatly, which we needed, because we need to take some pressure off this team, especially tonight as we were so short-handed. He came out and really he led by example, and he showed the rest of the team what we needed from them in order to be successful tonight. He added 30 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists with 4 steals, once again, shooting 11 of 19 from the field. Not only was he aggressive, but still extremely efficient. 2 of 4 from behind the 3-point line, and 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Once again, just playing to the part that he was extremely aggressive from the field. Thomas Bryant, 2 of 5, didn't shoot a lot, but he had 10 rebounds for the game, including a block, plus-minus of +6. Really what we want to see from Thomas Bryant. And then Nikola Jovic, I have to say, we should be running pick and pop with this kid all night long. He should be shooting anywhere from 6 to 10 3-point shots every single game. Yes, I was extremely low on him throughout the rest of this early part of this NBA season, but really since the All-Star break, I've really liked his game. I like when he plays, especially without Bam Adebayo, or even when we can put him next to someone like Bam Adebayo and we can stretch the floor so effectively. You can screen from, like, if he can put him at the 3, the 4, or the 5, you can screen 5 to 4, you can screen the 1 to the 4, obviously like a default pick and roll, but you can have him, and you can have someone like Jimmy Butler, who plays the 3, be screened. We can offset the defense really, really effectively, create double teams on players like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and leave Jovic open behind the 3-point line, and he should get shots up due to the fact that he has such good size and a great ability to make 3-point shots. He finished with 14 points and 6 rebounds with an assist, plus-minus of +3, while shooting 40% from behind the 3-point line, 4 of 10 from behind the 3-point line, not 40, 5 of 12 from the field. And then Terry Rozier, 8 of 16 from the field, 5 of 6 from behind the three-point line, including 24 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. We'll break down what he did in the fourth quarter in just a second, as he was simply fantastic and he really took over. Jimmy Butler did make a big shot, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Firstly, the first half, yes, Jimmy Butler came out, set the tone like I acknowledged in the first half, but both teams were really on fire. At one point, the Miami Heat were 5 of 10 from the three-point line, and the Cavaliers were 6 of 10 from behind the three-point line. We were just trading three-point shots really for the first half of this basketball game, and then it seemed like the Cleveland Cavaliers really cooled off from the three-point line because it was just they were living and dying by the three-point shot. It felt like they weren't taking anything besides long jumpers, possession after possession. And the Miami defense that was really moving well laterally, especially, and they were moving left to right, and they were keeping the ball moving on the Cleveland side of things, were able to really catch up to them, and we started to win possessions, and we started to pull away just a bit. It resulted in the Cavs really catching fire once again, but they also realized something. We don't have Bam Adebayo. We have Thomas Bryant and Orlando Robinson playing significant minutes at the center and power forward positions, as well as Jovic, who is undersized and not the biggest frame next to the paint, and not the greatest paint defender, as well as Thomas Bryant and Orlando Robinson. And they started to go to Jarrett Allen over and over again, who ended up dominating this game. He had a 20-20 game. I believe he finished with 28 points and 22 rebounds. He dominated tonight, and without someone like Bam Adebayo, we're probably going to see a lot of this, especially when we run into players like Jarrett Allen, who is so dominant, especially on the boards, and he showed it here tonight as he dominated the rebounding battle by himself. The battle was really low, 37 apiece for both teams, and it was even, thankfully, and the turnover battle was really what won us the game when we look at the team stats for the Miami Heat. Throughout the first 3 quarters of this game, the Miami Heat were so efficient with the basketball. They were not turning the ball over, as it felt like Cleveland was turning the ball over every other possession. The turnover battle ended 8-12 in favor of the Miami Heat, and it was close up until the fourth quarter, where the Miami Heat started flat. It seemed like, oh no, here comes the same old Miami Heat. The offense was flat. We were turning the ball over on constant possessions. I believe we had 4 turnovers alone in the fourth quarter, just in that quarter alone, which is not what we want to see, especially in a game that was so back and forth. And then things started to really go off. The Cavs started to find their shot again from three-point land, and the Miami Heat constantly had an answer, and they were being led by none other than Terry Rozier and Jimmy Butler. Now, for Rozier, he was fantastic down the stretch of this fourth quarter. Yes, it started horrible, but things really picked up. Down 4, one of the few leads that the Cavaliers had all night long, they took down the stretch of the fourth quarter. They were up 4, 96-100, where Terry Rozier caught the ball on the left wing, the left wing. He took a 3-point shot. He made the shot and was fouled. He went to the free throw line and made the free throw, tying the game at 100. The Cavaliers then came down the floor. They did not score due to great Miami Heat defense, where they made them go late in the shot clock, resulted in no basket. The Heat got the ball, went down the floor. Terry Rozier ended up with the ball again, this time on the other wing. Now on the right wing, took a step back 3, however you would like to say it, making a 3-point shot over the same defender, putting the Miami Heat up 3, 103-100. Then the Cavaliers did come down. They did make a set, or they did go late in the possession, making a layup, cutting the lead to 1. Then timeout for the Miami Heat, which resulted in advancing the ball. They were able to get the ball into Terry Rozier, who ended up making the ceiling free throws at the free throw line, making the 1-point lead a 3-point lead that resulted in a Cleveland Cavalier team who had no timeouts left to advance the ball full court. That didn't work. It was a sloppy play to begin with. Hail Mary play to Jarrett Allen, who then threw the ball backwards to Darius Garland for a logo 3 that came up just short once again. And again, it resulted in a gritty, very clutch win for the Miami Heat, led by Terry Rozier and Jimmy Butler, who did make a shot just before the run by Terry Rozier, the single-handed run by Terry Rozier down the stretch of the game. He took a fall-away post jump shot with about 40 seconds left, ice-cold shot, and again, no one's taken that besides playoff Jimmy, at least on our team, and it went in, thankfully, because he was fantastic here tonight. Now, Miami stays alive. We are in the 8th seed. We are a half game back from not only the 7th seed Indiana Pacers, but the 6th seed Philadelphia 76ers. We are 16.5 games back, half game behind both of those, and then 3 games behind the Orlando Magic, who just seem to have caught fire at the right time, winning 4 in a row, 8 out of their last 10. Here are the Miami Heat's last 15 games. This was the 4th game of a 4-game road stand. Now we are rewarded with a 4-game home stand against the New Orleans Pelicans, the 4th game of the 4-game series between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat, then Golden State, and then Portland before going back on the road to Washington, where we have to get our redemption after dropping a bad game to them just about 10 days ago. But again, coming back home for 4 consecutive games, the Miami Heat need to win. They need to win to get out of the play-in position they are currently sitting in, and it's very doable. Only a half game back from the 7th and the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. So it's going to be an extremely exciting race. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Let me know down in the comments what was the biggest moment for you guys in this game. Was it Rozier taking off in the 4th quarter? Was it Jimmy Butler starting the game hot and finishing hotter than he started? Or was it just the overall team effort we saw not only on the offensive end, but the defensive end that propelled the Miami Heat to this win over the Cleveland Cavaliers? Thank you for watching this episode of Heat Digest. I'll see you guys on the next one.